Yeah!
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Oh, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Well,
Welcome back, guys. I forgot what I was doing here. Welcome back, guys. On today's show, the rule of three is struck again, and we also talked to songwriter Tom Gants. Again, I've already messed up. 15 million times because look, it's not even recording. All right, let's try it again. Stop. Welcome back, guys. On today's show, the rule of three has struck again, and we also talked to songwriter producer Tom Gants. And is Big Tech really out of control? An open season on Florida mobs here in the next month or two, so be careful on that as well. Make sure you have your license and permit all in checks. And all these and much, much more we'll talk about here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing all right? Are you settling in? Are you getting comfortable? I mean, you know, the election, they don't know. You know, we're not a political show, but we have to discuss it. It's on everyone's plate. And so we don't have a president yet. They just said, you know, this guy's going to do it, and just give the job to him. He seems to want it, right? Just give it to him. Let him take care of it. Before we go any further, arms above our head, big stretch. Breathe it in, stretch it out, and come back in. You doing okay? Is everything all right with you? So we went to a wedding. Remember, I had a toss the coin, flip the coin, and it was a double-sided coin. That I knew where I was going. I was going to the neighbor's wedding. And when I say a double-sided coin, I knew I wasn't going down to Florida. I don't want to be put in that situation as far as like coronavirus and flying and all that stuff. So we took the safer bet and we went to a wedding right down the road. I say right down the road, probably maybe 30, 40 minutes from the house on a beautiful property. Beautiful. Not that we don't have a beautiful property. But they do strictly cattle, so it's all cattle fields instead of we have horses. Horses will rip up a damn field, running up and down. Cows just, what do? They just kind of sit, just kind of moo around. They really don't run a whole lot. But when you have horses, they run and they got shoes on their feet and they rip the soil up. So property looks beautiful. You know, there's no broken fences that you constantly have to mend or fix or anything like that. And the wedding was nice. The wedding probably had maybe 60 to 70 people there. And most of them were church and family. Everyone basically knew everyone else, except for maybe a select chosen 8 people, myself and my wife included. So when you go into, it's an outdoor wedding. It's done at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is nice. Sun's nice and bright and hot over the head. Thank God the wedding, the procession or whatever the beginning thing wasn't that long. And then we went right into a barn, a covered barn, but the barn without the stalls, like a covered area, a nice big huge wood ceiling, nice beams. I mean, it was beautiful. And you're looking around for a table that you're praying to God that no one talks to you, no one asks you anything. And there's this couple over there, elderly couple. I say elderly, anyone that's older than me, of course, a little bit older. They're an elderly couple. I kind of walked over and made the joke. I go, "Wow, you guys look harmless, so I'll sit next to you two." So my wife sat down and I sat down, and just kind of made a small chit chat. And he had a mask on, but no one else really in the wedding. Anyone had a mask on. There was maybe one child that had a mask on, a teenager had a mask on, but other than that, everyone's sitting around without a mask on and taking pictures and doing the whole thing. Now, 50, 60, 70 people, and I was like, all right, I guess we're good. I mean, this is the largest gathering of people that I've been around in quite some time. So we said, all right, we'll sit over here, and you know how the tables are. They're tables of 8. And it was myself and my wife and the other couple. And we kind of sat kind of close to each other, but not really that close. You always put that one just in case seat in between the two of you. But as we're sitting there and looking, and everything turned out great. The wedding was nice. The reception was nice. Everything, it was perfect. Tip-top shape. And so we're sitting there and we're looking around this barn, this, highly decorated barn with, the wood beams and the wood trimming and all the barn door styles and the wrought iron this. And we're like going, God damn, we need to finish our tack room. We need to finish what we started in our barn. We've got one tack room that's not finished. And the reason why it's not finished is because I can't get the damn shiplap. I bought all the stores out. I say I bought all the stores. The store that I want to go to, which is, 35 miles from my house, is run out of shiplap. I said, you know what? And I go every Saturday. I'm checking on them. And I check, every Saturday when I go into town, see if they've got the boards in. Nope, same 4 busted one. Well, I said, let me look online on their computer. Sure enough, it says 40. I'm like, well, I'm tired of looking around for this. So I just bit the bullet and I said, you know what? I'm going to buy these online and I'm going to let them walk around and find them. So I bought them, placed the order online. Sure enough, within a couple hours later, the store calls me. And I've got all this recorded on audio and I've got the whole entire thing and I'll play segments throughout the thing. I am the nicest person you want to talk to on the phone. I am very nice. My wife, by the time this was all said and done, she's like going, you're talking to anytime we got problems with bills or any kind of payments or anything. You're talking to them because you are nice and I just don't have the patience for it. I said, okay, I'll talk to him. So she calls me and says, Mr. Deacon, we don't have any more. I'm like, well, why not? Why not? Why don't you have any more? Well, the computer doesn't say that. Computer says we have it, but we don't have it. I'm like, all right. So let's go get it. Go find it. Get it and bring it to your store. No, I don't want to. Let me talk to my supervisor. Okay. She goes and comes back. I talked to my supervisor. My supervisor said no. And I said, okay, have you talked to the store manager or anyone like that? Well, we don't have a thing set up for that. All right. And I kind of dropped the do you know who I am thing. And I said, look, I have worked my hard-earned ass off, or whatever that phrase is, for 20 years for Home Depot. I have ran or been in control of or seen over several different stores between Florida and North Carolina. I know how the system works. I know that you guys have a transfer truck. I know that retail stores have connections. I said, you're telling me, right? You have nothing. No, we don't have anything. That our home office, which is North Carolina, by the way, like Atlanta is the home office for Home Depot. Charlotte, North Carolina is the home office. I think it's Concord, actually, which is a small suburb outside of Charlotte, is the home office for Lowe's. And I said, you're telling me that you have no way of grabbing this wood and bringing it from another store, because I'm not driving to another store. I'm not driving 50 miles to go get this wood. No, we don't have anything. Okay, fine. I appreciate it. It's not her fault. You hate to yell at this kid that's barely making minimum wage, and that's going to go up here soon, and who knows what the quality of person you're going to get then. But I said, all right, I'm not taking it out on you. You're doing as far as your pay grade is. You ever heard that? This not above my pay grade. Well, I went above her pay grade. I called what we consider in the retail business, customer care. And customer care is a 1-800 number. And that 1-800 number gives you to a call center where they actually use metrics to discuss and figure out how best way to serve you. At the end of every call, would you like to take a survey? You bet your sweet ass I'd like to take a survey. I'd like to sit here and tell you exactly what happened. So sure enough, I called and girl was fine. She's like, oh, we can do it. Yeah, no problem. I just have to waive the delivery fee. All right, I'm only buying $200 worth of wood. You don't have to deliver it to my house. Just drop it off at the store and I'll go get it at that store, at the store closest to me. No, we'll deliver it to you. Okay, she's trying to make a good effort, but she's waiting for her manager to come back and mark down a $79 delivery fee. It's a service. You're not giving me anything. You're not giving me a product. You're not saying, here, take this widget. It's free, and I'll eat the $70 or $79. Well, sir, you've been on hold for, on and off for 30 minutes. Can we call you right back? If you don't hear from me today, you'll hear from me tomorrow. I promise. Okay, you promise. I swear. Hand on the Bible, let's do it. Nothing. Next day goes by, nothing. Next day goes by, nothing. Now today, being Veterans Day, and I'd like to thank all of our veterans out there. A big round of applause for everything that you do for us to protect our borders inside and out. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of hard-earned grunt and tears and sweat, and sometimes we don't, as Americans, don't treat you very well. But I'd like to say thank you here on the DeaconLive show. Now, as far as being treated well, I call back the call center, the customer care area. And I said, hey, it's me again. Totally different person, of course. Shift change or whatever came in. I placed an order. I had to explain everything again. Girl was fine. And this happened this morning. The girl was fine. She's like, oh my God, I see what happened. Hold on, let me get approval for the $79. Let me take care of that right now. All right, cool. She gets everything fixed up. I go ahead and pay for it again because I already see the canceled order. I'm watching in real time. My email address, canceled order, coming back in, canceled order, reorder, that stuff. So she says, okay, order's placed. They should give you a call before they come out. I'm like, all right, great. Hang up the phone. My wife's like, yay, everything's great. Everything's good. I'm making breakfast in the process. And hang up the phone. A couple hours later, or actually not even a couple hours later, less than 30 minutes, I get a call from a 407 number. That's a Florida number now. Saying, hey, this is Alex Montego over at Lowe's. Hey, Alex, I just want to make sure, are we getting the right stuff? You've got the right code on the product, but the product description is different. Oh, really? What's it say? It says tongue and groove. Do you want tongue and groove or shiplap? I want shiplap. Okay, good. That's what we got then. All right, we'll be out there in a few hours to drop it off. And I hit click for whatever reason. I said, are you calling me from a Florida number? Yes. Are you in North Carolina? No, I'm over off Cimarron and whatever street. I go, I used to live in Florida. I used to live on by Curry Ford and by the airport. Oh, yeah, that's us. We're right there on the corner of blah, 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 blah. I'm like, are you going to drive 8 hours to my house? No. Why? I said, I live in North Carolina. Both of us just kind of did the whole palm to the forehead like, Jesus Christ, what is going on? No, sir. This is the Orlando store, whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, well, cancel that order. Let me call them back. And I called them back, and I went round and round and round with them. Again, went through the whole entire thing. Finally, nice young lady. I spent an hour and a half on the phone. Now I've already had lunch or had breakfast. I'm getting ready to make lunch now. I've been on the phone so long with her. Anyway, so everything's taken care of, and I'll play clips of the conversation throughout this episode and stuff, and you'll have some fun with that. We lost a couple people here in the last couple weeks. You know, I talked about this a couple podcasts ago, how death and celebrity status comes in threes. Well, the first two big headliners have, I don't want to say dropped, have passed away this past week. And I know there's one more floating around out there. And we'll get into that and how you can handle situations that are uncomfortable or grieving and stuff when we talk to Tom Gants here on DeaconLive. So stick around. We'll be right back. On the phone with us right now, Tom Gants, songwriter, producer of the Bring You Joy album. You can find them at bringyoujoy.world. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world with the elections and everything, and this show tries not to be political as possible, but I know a lot of people out there are hurting and feeling angst and anxiety and stuff. So you've created... Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is you go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, click on the social contact section, and you can see all the ways that links us to you and you to us, and make sure you share us, like us, and do all that stuff that you're supposed to do when you're cool and hip, and you got a little podcast you listen to, and you want to share it with everyone else. Hey, listen to this guy. This guy's kind of crazy. We appreciate all the people out in California. That cluster out there is getting larger and larger. Appreciate all you people out there in California. We're seeing our numbers grow over the flyover states, so we love you guys as well. And, of course, overseas, I saw some things in Germany, a few hundred downloads over in Germany and all those areas over there as well. So we appreciate all you guys do for us. In the meantime, so now we have lost two huge celebrities this past week. And everyone says, come on, 2020, come on, 2020, give us a break, 2020, damn you, 2020, that type stuff. This gentleman right here, unfortunately, just passed away.
James Bond.
Can I do something for you, Mr. Bond?
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Well, he's certainly left with his tails between his legs.
Souvenir from another jealous woman?
Yes, but I haven't turned my back on one since.
That's right. Sean Connery has passed away at the age of 90. And, some people debated back and forth, whether he was the best James Bond. I think he was, for his time and the era and the way movies are shot, being a film and theater major in grad school, got 2 degrees on that, by the way. Thank you, UCF. But, yeah, I mean, there's a way that movies, and you're limited as far as, special effects and stuff. So you rely a lot on your characters. If you look at the early days of film, basically there were one shot, and they filmed it like it was a theater play. Now, so Sean Connery has passed away, and unfortunately this gentleman followed right behind him. We knew this was happening. We knew this was coming up, and it's this gentleman right here.
Here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
This morning, millions are remembering the man with all the answers, Alex Trebek.
We provide the categories and the answers.
The host of Jeopardy for more than 3 decades, Trebek smoothly delivered the clues before the questions.
From the Greek, 1200.
Answer.
His work ethic and dry sense of humor cemented him as the world's foremost quizmaster, while his exasperation with contestants...
What's a corvair?
No.
Who is Mr. Shu?
No.
Who is Alexander the Great?
No. Do you think we should go to commercial?
Welcome to Celebrity Jeopardy.
Was famously parodied on Saturday Night Live by Will Ferrell.
Talking to Sean Connery, which is funny.
Let's just do states that end in Hampshire for 200.
Trebek opened up about the satire to Jenna.
Do you like the way they portray you on Saturday Night Live?
Absolutely. It doesn't bother me one bit.
Please answer in the form of a question.
You can make fun of us all you want, and I love it. We have decided to go all out.
Born and raised in Canada, Trebek began his career as a newscaster and then game show host on CBC. In 1973, Trebek came to America to host The Wizard of Oz on NBC before taking over Jeopardy in 1984.
So there you go. Alex Trebek has passed away. He was battling cancer and died at the age of 80 years old, which is tough. I mean, welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks and stuff. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on the social contacts section, and then you can catch on all our social contacts and links and stuff. And we'll dive into what's going on with the social network as well. And you can see past podcasts and all our catalog of everything that we've done here on Deacon Live. Now, I want you to see something. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, click on the Deacon Live section. I got a shirt on. My wife went through the closet and grabbed a whole bunch of shirts. Oh, I'm going to make sure I got the right thing on so everyone can see me here. So my wife grabbed a bunch of shirts. She's like, I'm tired of this one. I'm tired of this one. You haven't touched this one. She's cleaning the closet out. And so I've got a whole bunch of shirts up here in the studio. I'm like, oh, no, don't throw those away. I can use them. I can use them on the show. And so I've got this shirt right here. It's kind of a linen shirt. It's been in the closet. So like the button flap thing, it's all wrinkly and stuff. So there you go. It's all this is one shirt. So I want you guys to vote on it and make a comment down below whether I should keep the shirt or get rid of the shirt. I'll stand up one more time so you guys see it. See? It's nice. It's wrinkled because it's been sitting on the casting couch over there. But yeah, so that's one shirt. You can see a little flesh right there, little bulging out. Anyways, there you go. Now, high-tech companies, well, let's do this. There's another fetish or fad or whatever is going on the internet. Now, it hasn't been as prominent as is the dress blue or is the dress yellow or is it Yanni or Laurel. But I want you guys to listen to this. I'm going to play this, and it's in the video that you see. Usually it's the girl sitting in a... Hold on. Make sure I pop this up for you so you can see it. So in the video that's going around on Facebook and all the news social platforms and stuff, it's a video of a girl sitting there, and you'll hear this beginning of the song, and it says, "What do you hear? What do you physically hear?" And she points to two things above her head. One says green needle, green like the color, needle like sewing. The other word that's above her head says BrainStorm. Now the video plays the sample 4 or 5 times, okay? But I just grabbed one of it, just one of the samples, and I'm going to play it for you, and let me know what you hear. I'm not going to say anything. I won't say anything the first time, and then I'll say something a couple other times. You ready? So here's the first one. Let me see, make sure I got all the levels right. It's the same sample over and over. I swear to God, I'm not changing it. You guys are going to go, witchcraft, witchcraft. You should have been burned last month. No, here we go. Ready? There'll be a lead in, and then you'll hear the word, and it sounds like a robot saying it. So it might take a couple times for you to hear it. You ready? First time. It's either green needle or BrainStorm. Okay? Green needle or BrainStorm or green needle. And then I'm going to play with you. Here we go. Did you get that? Okay, so now that's the one clip that I took from it, and it's playing on a loop on my little Jet audio player here. And without me doing anything different, I'm just gonna say, this is BrainStorm. You ready? And when I say BrainStorm, that's what you're gonna hear. You ready? BrainStorm. Okay, so that's BrainStorm. Now I'm going to say green needle. You ready? I'm going to say green needle and play the same. And you can see this. I'm playing this on the video. Hold on, I got to switch screens so you guys can see that I'm actually playing this on my little Jet audio player here. Let's see. Is that getting on the screen? Yeah, it's getting on the screen. All right. So here we go. This is going to say BrainStorm. Now I'm going to say green needle. Now I'm going to say BrainStorm. And you can see the audio track. I'm not changing anything. Green needle. No, I'm going to play it one more time and not say anything. And I want you to think something in your head and you figure it out. All right, I'm gonna do it again. So whatever you thought that time, think the opposite this time. All right, I know you guys are pulling your teeth out and banging your heads on the ground. You're like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. What are you guys talking? How did you do that? Deacon, you're that's it. You are the devil. You are out of control. You are out of control. I know. All right, we're going to take a small little break, and then we'll get back into the show here. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We're broadcasting from the Give You Joy studio. You can find out more information on them. Go to bringyoujoy.world. You know, I wrote give and said bring. It's kind of like what you see and what you hear. What you hear is totally different than what you see. That's bringyoujoy.world. Now, something that brings us joy is music, rock and roll music, any type of music. Make sure it's slow and low or fast and loud. The faster it is, the louder it is. I love it. I love that. I love that speed metal and death metal. I love all that stuff. My wife hates it. She hates all that. I took her to one of our first dates. I took her to a ministry concert, and she's like, I've never been to a rock concert. And I'm like, okay, let's go to a rock concert. I said, do you want to go to one of mine? She's like, oh yeah, I'd love to go. Oh, you would have thought I brought her to freaking Satan's workshop. But yeah, that was one of, I've seen ministry a million times. Al Jurgensen and the boys up there, they always put on a good show. And the cool thing is, I like being in the center and being in the pit. And a couple people there knew that she wasn't one of those people that like that type of music. But so there you go. They took care of her. They did all that stuff. But something that's kind of slipped under the radar is they actually announced the 2020 graduating class, inductee class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, if you missed out on it, here you go. These are the people that were actually inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Depeche Mode, Doobie Brothers, Whitney Houston, Nine Inch Nails, Notorious B.I.G., T-Rex, Irving Oscoff, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's see if they show the whole entire list. While this year's program will be different than years past, we will look forward to recognizing their impact on the industry and their fans and the next generation of artists. During the induction ceremony, they will be available to fans on HBO. Of course, late night rock icon and Hall of Famer Eddie Van Halen was also honored as a tribute led by Guns N' Roses member Slash. Eddie Van Halen was tremendously a gifted musician. Slash says during the tribute, his style was completely unique to him and massive impact on the guitar, the way guitars are played today. Now, hold on. Let's see who was inducted. It doesn't tell me the whole thing. Class of 2020. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Depeche Mode, Doobie Brothers, Whitney Houston, Nine Inch Nails, I already said. Notorious B.I.G., T-Rex, John Landau, Irving Oscoff, and I guess that's it. That's all that got. That's all that made it this year. So there you go. I mean, it's a distinguished class. I mean, you think, how do these people? Some of these people don't match. The people that listen to Notorious B.I.G. didn't listen to Depeche Mode. Doobie Brothers didn't listen to Whitney Houston. But it's how they affected, in their times, how they affected the music and the industry at that time. So, yep, 2020, they had the whole celebration stuff. So just in case you missed out on that, there you have it. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just took place this past week. Now, there's a lot of things that are changing because of we are still in the COVID-19 suspense, the shutdown, the I don't know if we're ever going to get rid of this, and if the vaccine is going to get out to us. They're saying that the vaccine is made, but it's got to be kept at like negative 70 degrees, when normally most vaccines are kept at negative 20, and they're trying to figure out a way to get enough dry ice in the whole world to keep these things on ice, to keep them chilled out so they can get to everybody. Now, our governor here in North Carolina, we tried so hard. Sorry, Dan Forrest. Hashtag Dan Forrest. Sorry, Dan Forrest. We tried to get Roy Cooper out of our state as far as the governor and bring you in. I think you were just lack of Dan. I'm sorry. I'm going to speak to you as one person to another. I think you just didn't have enough experience. You didn't have enough lead in your back. Sound familiar? Anyone out there listening? Didn't have enough experience, and Roy Cooper took the main things on that. And now he's just continuing and doing what he's doing. He's still saying that here, going into Thanksgiving, that inside gatherings are now going to be dwindled has signed an executive order Tuesday reducing the number of people who can gather indoors to 10 people, down from 25, in an effort to curb the spread of the coronavirus. These changes come in the state reported an increase of infections, adding 2,500 new cases since Monday, bringing the cumulative to 297,000, almost 300,000 here in North Carolina. More than 4,600 people have died in the state since the pandemic. Now, you have to understand, when they release Monday things, it's from over the weekend. So take that and divide it by 3, because they don't report on Saturday or Sunday. So now, granted, the reduction of our indoor gathering limits and aims to slow down the spreading and bring down our corona numbers, Cooper says. But see, now I just told you the story about I went to a wedding where there was 50, 60, 70 people at this wedding, family, church members, and relatives thereof. Now, how does that happen? It's a big open, it was a huge open place. The building that we were in, completely air conditioned, beautiful facility, was probably 40 by 200. I mean, it was a huge. You could park several vehicles in this building. So how does that? I don't know how that works out and how they were managed. It wasn't 25 people, as what Roy Cooper says. If you're going to have people hanging out in your for a wedding, and now they're knocking it down to 10. So I don't know how we got away with it. I say we. I'm not paying for the wedding. That's the guy next door's problem. But I mean, for the most part, that's what happened. Now, speaking of governors, I guess DeSantis is doing well. I'm a Florida boy, born and raised. Cut me open, I bleed sand. Governor DeSantis moves to allow citizens, get ready, it's that time of year, citizens to shoot looters and rioters targeting businesses. What that means is Ron DeSantis has drafted an anti-mob legislation that will expand the state's Stand Your Ground law, which, if you're not familiar with it, just go back and read the Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin case, where he actually shot him and he was like, I'm standing my ground. This guy's trying to kill me. And this move worries some of us that would allow armed citizens to shoot and potentially kill anyone they suspect of looting. Now, when you say it out loud like that, it sounds bad, because you saw the people. I mean, a couple months ago when everyone's beating down stuff, why don't they shoot? You're defending your property. Shoot them. Well, guess what? In Florida, you go ahead, shoot them. I don't care. Shoot them. Protect your property. Do what you got to do to protect your family and protect your property. DeSantis says newest legislation comes in response to the months of protesting that frequently led to rioting this summer in Florida across the United States following the death of George Floyd, which is very hard to say, a black man who died in Minnesota. The legislation is an attempt to prevent violence and disorderly assemblies by permitting violence against anyone involved in the interruption or the impairment of a business, reportedly described in the draft as being a burglary within 500 feet. Violent or disorderly assembly, according to the report of the Miami Herald. So that's what he says. It allows vigilantes to justify their actions. It also allows for death to be punishment for property crime that is cruel and unusual punishment. We cannot live in this lawless society, and taking lives is done so casually and recklessness. That's the county prosecutor, Dennis George, with that statement. But, I mean, you hear it. Hey, why don't they just shoot him? Ron DeSantis says, you know what? Let me fix that. Sign. Stamp. Go ahead and do it. You guys are free to go. Go ahead and anyone breaks into your store, you got a little coffee shop, a little muffin shop, and a whole bunch of people want to come in there and raid your cooler and your freezer. Hey, blast away. Go ahead. You got my blessing there. Oh God. That's what you guys wanted, right? That's what you wanted. You wanted on both sides. We want rights and freedom. We want to protect our property. Well, there you go. Ron DeSantis is doing that as well. Now we come back. Big tech is a double-edged sword. Damned if you do to help the world, and damned if you don't to help yourself. So stick around. We'll dive into that here a little bit more, and then we're going to do this week in new food products coming out from many different people. Or should I say, this week in food stuff that we didn't know that we needed. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks right now while they're still standing. And that means going to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the social contacts and you can see all the stuff that connects us to you and you to us as well. Now, everyone wants to go fast. Everyone wants to go, I want to get here, I want to get there quicker, and I want to do it in the best style and the best way I can. Now, for you out there, all you big men, babies, you big adult kids out there, you ever want to own a Lamborghini? Lamborghini right now unveils their very first Go-Kart Pro for adults, costing, are you ready for this? You can afford this, right? Screw the kids' tuition next year. Who hasn't fantasized about owning their own Lamborghini? Well, it's going to be a lot easier now with their latest toy, and it only costs $1,500. Lamborghini teamed up with Chinese smartphone maker Xiaomi, who owns personal transporter company Segway 9bot. There's a lot of words in there that make a whole lot of sense to someone. It can reach up to speeds of 25 miles an hour, and it's seriously cool gear inside. It propels itself by balancing the Xiaomi scooter, and the rear tires are high traction rubber and safe turns. It features a true Ackerman steering, which means each wheel can pivot independently on its own to allow for sharp turns and stuff. So there you go. Lamborghini is now, if you're watching this on the, let's make sure I got the right screen up. Switch screens. So there you go. You can have your own Lambo, but it's a go-kart. So I don't know, is it gas, electric? I'm going to say it's probably electric if it's using some kind of thing. So yeah, Lamborghini slapped their name on a go-kart, and you can buy one for $1,500. Go to Nerdbot. Hey, little guy, get off my screen. Go ahead. You're good over there. Now, for those of you who want to go faster and to get across town a little bit quicker, Virgin Airways and Virgin Atlantic and all those guys there, you know those guys. What's it? Let's see if the article says who he's talking about. Who am I talking about? So, for those of you who want to travel faster across our United States, and the whole flying thing, there's a lot of fuel and stuff that's spent on jet fuel. And, you know, they had that comment on the football game the other day when they did the flyover over a half-empty stadium. Hey, there's a lot of jet fuel right there just being wasted. Now, if you could travel somewhere a lot faster and be a little bit more economical as far as using fuel and stuff, check this out right here. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, click on DeaconLive, and for every podcast that we do, we have a video attached to it as well.
Two people inside it.
And you can see all this stuff in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. So here you go.
20 miles outside Las Vegas, Nevada, in this tube running through a dusty desert, a cutting-edge technology and two people inside it just made history.
3, 2, 1, launch.
Josh Geigel and Sarah Lukian just became the first humans to ride in something called the Virgin Hyperloop.
That was so good!
What kind of looks like a ride on Space Mountain is actually a type of futuristic transportation for most of us, unless you live in the fictional country of Wakanda.
That's magnetic levitation, right?
Obviously.
Maglev train tech has been around for decades, but the Hyperloop supercharges it.
So what you don't know, if you've ridden on it, if you've ever been to the Magic Kingdom, the monorails run on the magnetic lift and stuff, so that's how they power their things.
Imagine traveling non-stop at up to 670 miles per hour, above land or underground. This is Hyperloop.
It works by putting the passenger capsule inside a sealed tube.
Hyperloop One's unique technology uses magnetic levitation to guide and lift the pod off the track. Nearly all of the air inside the Hyperloop tube is removed using a series of vacuum pumps. This effectively creates our own sky inside the tube, as if...
So what they do is actually create some kind of vacuum inside the tube, so it's less drag, less resistance, and uses a lot less energy to shoot this bullet through the tube.
You are quietly flying at 200,000 feet above sea level. This reduces drag so only the smallest amount of electricity is needed to achieve extraordinary speeds.
The company says the Hyperloop would drastically cut the travel time between cities from hours to minutes.
From Los Angeles, Las Vegas, you're looking somewhere between about 30, 40 minutes. Top speed on that might be in excess of about 500 miles an hour. You get up to speed, you get straight from downtown Los Angeles to downtown Las Vegas, and something that you could pop over for lunch pop over for a quick gamble.
Or a show.
Or a show.
And she makes that little joke there. Charlie, you got enough problems with gambling. Let's just see a show and get back to Mom's house before she wakes up. So yeah, it's a race between Virgin and SpaceX. You know, Elon Musk and Richard. As far as who's going to spend the most money to make everything better for us in society, technology-wise, to help us out. Either way. Now, one thing that's helped us out. Whether you look at it as good or bad, it all depends on what side of the ticker tape that you're standing on. Whether you're standing in the street celebrating or you're standing on the side waiting for your chance to be noticed. Now, Facebook, A lot of people, I think this might be the downfall of Facebook. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But Facebook is they're getting some competition. And what do you mean by competition? I thought Facebook was the number one thing in the area. Well, on text service. No, it's not. And because of this whole election, they're diving down. I mean, we saw the court hearings as far as what was happening with what's his fucking name? Mark Zuckerberg. And yes, we're stealing your information. Yes, we're taking this information and giving it to other people. Yes, we're doing all this stuff, and then we're tailoring your newsfeed based on the way you click and like and respond and do all that stuff. So now, all these other secondary and thirdary platforms are popping up. And when I say secondary platforms, I'm talking Parler, I'm talking MeWe, I'm talking about all these other what they consider conservative platforms where they don't limit free speech. Take it for what you will. But here's a small article. If you don't know what's going on, this is what's happening. And here's Senator Ted Cruz talking about
Twitter.
it here. Oops.
Twitter, Facebook, Google, YouTube. These are some of the most visited sites in the world. They're run by left-wing Silicon Valley billionaires. They have an unparalleled ability to shape what Americans see and hear and ultimately think. And they use that power to silence conservatives and to promote their radical left-wing agenda. Big tech has shown the ability to shadow ban or to silence whatever you say, whatever you post, without anyone ever knowing about it. On the flip side, if big tech has views that they want to promote, they can just collate your feed so you see only what they want you to see. Big tech is out of control, filled with hubris, and flagrantly silencing those with whom they disagree. From conservative media organizations to the President of the United States and millions of Americans in between. These actions don't just threaten our First Amendment rights and our free speech. They threaten the integrity of our elections and the future of our democracy. With another presidential election just months away, I'm working in the Senate every day to hold big tech accountable to the American people and to make sure that your voices are heard. That's why I'm proud to join Parler. This platform gets what free speech is all about, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Let's speak freely, and let's end the Silicon Valley censorship.
So there you go. That's Parler. That's what's happening on your newsfeed. So when you see a lot of people out there talking about, hey, we've left Facebook, this is our new Parler, this is our new Parler ID, they're not as cool as the Facebook one. So they still have some work to do. But I mean, if you get everyone on the same platform that agrees with what's going on the platform, then you've got no platform. Because after all, it was like, we think all dogs should be white. Okay. We think all houses should be yellow. Okay. We think all cars should be red. Okay. What else? Gluten-free is fake. Okay. Popeyes has the best chicken sandwich. All right. And then what do you talk about? I mean, if you get it on a platform where everyone agrees about everything, then the platform pretty much will implode on itself. Now, here at DeaconLive, I get emails all the time. Can you play my song? Can you promote this stuff? My main stance, no matter who contacts me or whatever you have to say, as long as it does not affect children or animal abuse, I don't care. You've got something to say, I've got a platform for it. I say stuff all the time. I say stuff sometimes I wish I could take back. But I mean, for the most part, that's what free speech is about. That's what we're doing here. If Facebook would just lift they can't. They can't lift the free speech thing because they don't want cyberbullying. Well, cyberbullying, then you start spiraling into a whole nother world of just idiocy. But for the most part, I think they should just lift I've been in Facebook jail for 3 days. I've been in Facebook jail for 30 days. Why are they even doing that? That absolutely makes absolutely no sense. That's like going outside and saying, the sky is green, and someone driving up, putting me in the back of their cop car and putting me downtown for 30 days and not let me talk to anyone. I don't know. And then everyone's jumping ship. Everyone, Facebook, oh my God, liberals and left wings and stuff. That's what makes us Americans. That's what makes us together. That's what makes us a human race. If we all agreed on the same thing, we'd all have the same house. We'd all have the same job. We'd all have the same income. We'd all have the same clothes. We'd all have the same children, the same pets, the same car. Individuality. That's what makes us the United States. Individuality. So when you see that on your Facebook feed, I'm leaving, I'm going to Parlor, I'm going, and then I'm just like, all right. So I filled out a profile just to see what it's like. You know what? It took me 30 seconds. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't think I'm going to do anything with it. I just want to see what was going on the other side of the fence, on the other side of the street, at the neighbor's house. What are they doing over there that we're doing different over here? I don't know. So there you go. That's the whole everyone jumping ship on the mainstream media. Well, each to his own. You know, I love horror movies. My wife doesn't like horror movies. I love them. She likes certain things, and I don't like certain things. I mean, that's what makes us human. Oh God, I'm only human. All right, when we come back, you know what else is happening? It's that time of year. People are putting out different food items. Good or bad, I don't know. I'm going to run down a list of this week in new food items. Do we need them or not need them? We'll dive into that here in just one sec, and then wrap up the show and let you guys get back to what you got to do. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, click on the social contacts, and then, I don't know, I don't have my Parlor thing up there. I don't have the new social contacts, so for those people still on board, you'll just have to go to the old Facebook, the old Twitter, the old Instagram, and you follow us that way. I'm not leaving the platforms. It's dumb. It's dumb. I don't like it because things didn't go my way. All right. Well, we're broadcasting to you from the Bring You Joy studio. Go to bringyoujoy.world and find out more information on that as well. Now, what makes us all happy? What can we all agree on? Food. Now, I don't know. I'm a stickler just for the regular stuff, but when new stuff comes out, I'm like going, hey, I'll wait for 15 million people to try it before I try it. That's just the way I am. My wife, she'll try new stuff. She'll like, oh, they got the new this and they got the new that. Let's try this and let's try that. Now, with the whole pandemic and stuff, I'm surprised they're coming out with anything new. You know, it's like Taco Bell. Taco Bell's got a new item. Oh, what side of the Crunch Wrap or the whatever beans, cheese, burrito, taco that they're going to remix? And I say that because Pringles has... You ever heard of those guys? Pringles is coming out with a new scorchin', quote-unquote, scorchin' selection, which brings the heat. Pringles is always cooking up new flavors, which they have done. Pringles is always looking up new flavors, which they have gone through. Hold on, make sure. I'm so out of breath. Pringles is always cooking up new flavors, which is why we have gone through so many tubes that we can't even count. We hope that you like heat because new Pringles Scorching Collection will bring you some serious fiery flavor to the snack time. Now, the new chip brings you a spicy kick of 3 Pringle Originals, so don't forget what you knew about the classic cheddar, the classic barbecue, and the classic chili and lime. These combinations of flavor are now being blasted with a hot blazing factor. Pringles Scorchin' Cheddar has cheesy chips made with cheddar cheese and extra peppery kick. All right, let's really sell it for me. Scorchin' Barbecue, smoky flavor with a cayenne pepper. And then Scorchin' Chili Lime, tangy citrus with chili pepper. Throw some ghost peppers on those things. Come on, Pringles. Throw something in there that heats it up a little bit, gets a little spice, gets a little kick to them. Maybe they're afraid that everyone's going to OD on them like the one rapper did, eating the flaming Cheetos or whatever. I can't eat flaming Cheetos. I'm so sensitive. Pringles Scorching lineup will be available December 20th, and each of the cans will now retail for $1.99. I remember you could get them for three for $1 when they had the regular stuff. So there you go. Pringles is kicking it up a little bit, and the whole thing where you're combining different flavors, you're combining, cheese, pizza, and whatever, and you're making it a one big thing and making it a snack. They should come out with smaller individual packs and go from there. Like, what's Jelly Belly? Jelly Belly does that, right? Jelly Belly jelly beans, they just have a whole bag full of different flavors, and then it says if you get the popcorn and the caramel and the whatever, then you've got a s'mores or something like that. Pringles should look into that if they want to capture the multifaceted as far as different flavors and stuff. Now, for all your little kitties out there, speaking of s'mores, all your little kitties out there that love Twinkies, even you adults out there that love Twinkies, Walmart right now launches the Giant Twinkies Baking Kit for a limited time only. When the going gets tough, the tough gets baking. In recent months, many of us have been baking up a storm. We've made countless cakes from scratch. We've made sourdough bread. We've turned out dozens and dozens of cookies. We've even mastered how to do the strawberry swirl cream cheese pound cake we've been hoping to pull off since 1983. Well, now Twinkie is releasing for you the Twinkies Party Size Baking Kit. So what it does is bring on some nights where, especially a foot-long hard days of no shortage of stress-provoking news. We simply like to feel throwing on an apron and baking a kit and doing the grunt work for us. Jesus Christ. We are thrilled to learn that we can break out the new Hostess Party Twinkie Size Baking Kit from Walmart. It's $14.98, which debuts, actually it's out there right now in some markets, November 1st. Available nationwide for this season, offering this ball of a time to make with your household and stirring up some solo nostalgia at home. I never liked Twinkies. I just thought they were dry cakes and stuff. But if you're a big fan of Twinkies, it makes 12 servings in this big kit, and it looks like a big loaf of bread. So you're making this big whole cake mix, cream-filled mix, baking pan, and it's all in one thing. It's like $15 for this thing. So yeah, Walmart's making a big size, party size Twinkie. Now we're talking about like the king of chicken sandwiches. McDonald's is now coming out with a chicken sandwich. Why not? They've got one already, but they're coming out with a better one. This McDonald's will roll out a new chicken sandwich earlier this year. Hold on. It's been a whirlwind year for the chicken sandwich, so it doesn't appear while it should not be slowing down. Case in point, McDonald's is announcing their plan to launch a new, improved chicken sandwich across the United States next year. If it compares to the chicken McNuggets they were kicking out, which was a huge success, the new chicken sandwich would be just as effective. So McDonald's, at the start of the year, is kicking out a new chicken sandwich. Everyone's getting on this whole chicken sandwich thing. Now, one thing that a lot of people are going to be upset about, Budweiser is now releasing holiday cans. I know it's not a food item, but some people it's like fifth food or fourth meal or whatever they call it. Budweiser releases their holiday cans, and this writer here found them to be way offensive because we live in that kind of society. We are offended about everything. And when we're offended about something, what do? We either complain about it, get thrown in Facebook jail, or we go to a different platform. It's been 5 long years since Starbucks unwittingly entered the war on Christmas by issuing holiday cups that were not festive enough. Remember that? They started doing festive holiday cups and they were just like completely red. That was it. Oh, these are your new Christmas cups? Great. No holly, no snowflakes, no 8-pound, 6-ounce newborn infant Jesus, nothing. Just a solid field of red. like the field of blood of Santa's elves spilt all over the cross. And this guy gets really into it. Dear God, would it ever stop? Now, in a darker, colder world, we cannot have these kind of things. Look at these cans. The clock tower in this can right here might have been from Eyes Wide Shut filming of the movie. This can right here has horses instead of reindeer. Coincidence? I don't know. The Dalmatian on this dog, if you read the spots and connect them, it says anti-political stance. Whatever. And then the other one, it's a mess. And they're just kidding. You know, if you can't have fun with your Christmas stuff, then where can you have fun? So Budweiser has released these 4 cans just in time for Christmas. They're cute. It's got the Clydesdale, because that's their staple, running through like the towns of like Big Ben and stuff. Dalmatian dog out there in the snow, can't hear anything because Dalmatians are deaf. And then another can that's green with a bunch more Clydesdale horses on it as well. So there you go. These new Budweiser cans are coming out. They look like, I guarantee you, watch your Parlor feed, because Facebook, you know, who are those guys? Someone's going to post these cans on their Christmas tree because they look like Christmas tree ornaments. They are that good as far as the design. Someone's going to put a little fish hook on them, and they're going to hang them all from the trees. And there you go. Total Christmas redneck party. Now, redneck party is this shirt right here, Whataburger. I didn't even know they made clothing line, but Whataburger, you've ever heard those guys? Whataburger has now debuted their 2020 ugly Christmas holiday sweater. And it just says Whataburger across the front. It's a nice big orange shirt, sweater, whatever it is, and it's got the W logo all over it. And they are retailing now for $42.99. So there you go. Go out and get your Twinkie bake. That'll be your Thanksgiving dessert. No one's making pies anymore. Just make the Twinkie bake. Look for the new chicken sandwich. Get your Bud cans out, or drink them down, because you're getting ready to take the Christmas tree out of the attic, and you're going to put the Budweiser cans all over the Christmas tree for your ornaments. And then you can wear your ugly your Christmas sweater here at the next Christmas party, next company Christmas party. And that's another thing. And we'll dive into that later here in the year. What are you going to do for Christmas parties? Everyone's at home working. Everyone's doing their thing at home on computers. Are you going to have a Zoom Christmas party? Boring. So there you go. All right, guys, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for listening to us, downloading us, being part of the show. And you can follow us on all our social networks. Go to profitradio.com, click on social contacts, click on that, share, like, comment, and do us a favor. If you want to be part of the show, click on the Be Heard bar at the bottom of the page. And what it does is open up a microphone, and you can leave a voice message. It comes right here to the station, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. On behalf of you guys, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with us tonight. My name is the Deacon, saying goodnight and goodnight.
Wait, come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.